Whoa, what a day at Farmrail.
Farmrail is a short-line railroad in western Oklahoma. And since Alex's voice is hoarse today, I'm going to do most of the narration for him. But don't worry, he's right here beside me to correct me if I get something wrong. Farmrail invited Alex out to learn about railroad safety, training, operations, safety, locomotives, track maintenance, safety, conducting, engineering, tracking, and safety. If you think I'm saying safety a lot, you should have been with us. Safety is a huge part of everything they do, and they take it very serious. And for good reason. These engines and cars are massive. By the way, that's Brandon Friesen. He is Farmrail's safety officer, and he's the one who gave us the tour. To understand Farmrail, it helps to back up a bit and explain short-line railroads. When we think of railroad freight, we normally think of many cars moving cross-country on long routes, like coal from Wyoming going to a power plant in Texas. These are the Class 1 railroads operated by the big companies like BNSF and Union Pacific. They do a phenomenal job of moving freight from one hub to another. But not everyone shipping or receiving freight is located on one of these major rail lines. That is where the short line railroads come in. They work together with big lines to get freight moved from the first mile and last mile, which is a phrase that means moving freight to areas where the Class 1 lines don't run. These short lines bring railroad service to areas that otherwise wouldn't have service. For example, let's suppose I wanted to ship cottonseed from Hobart, Oklahoma to a dairy in California for them to use as feed. Farmrail, a short line railroad, would service the first miles, getting my cars full of cottonseed to the Class 1 BNSF line that runs through Enid, Oklahoma. From there, BNSF would transport those cars to a hub in California, where another short line would deliver it to or near the dairy. Without these services, my only other transport option would be trucking, and that could be too expensive. Having rail service gives me greater market for my products. How important are short-line railroads? There are 50,000 miles of short-line track covering 49 of the 50 states. 1 in every 4 rail cars spend times on short-line tracks during its journey. Farmrail has 347 miles of mainline track. They not only take freight to and from the Class 1 lines, they serve over 60 customers with direct rail service, meaning the customers have rail loading and unloading track connected to Farmrail's track. They move a wide variety of freight, but much of it is agricultural, oil and gas, and construction materials. We visited their headquarters in Clinton, Oklahoma, and it started in Brandon's office, where we saw how GPS tracking lets him know where all of the locomotives and other key equipment is in real time.
There they are.
Yeah, and then there's 2618.
Yeah, there's where we were right here. This is where we're at right now.
Yep, and as it
And
seems,
that's where they're going right there.
yeah, as it seems, they are going through a yard.
Yeah, that's probably the train we'll try to get on here in just a minute.
From there, we headed out to the track, where Alex got to ride in a locomotive as it delivered cars to a customer.
This is my excited face.
Alex, remember the camera that we saw? There's the camera right there.
All of their locomotives are equipped with cameras as part of their safety program. Horns are fun, but they're important safety devices too. There are strict rules on when and how to sound them at crossings. The white pickup is a Farmrail truck. It's what the conductor and the conductor trainee rides in as they work with the train. You may think that the engineer is in charge, but the conductor is calling all the shots. He dictates when, where, and how the train should move and communicates that to the engineer. The conductor also connects or disconnects cars to the train, communicates with delivery sites, communicates with dispatch, ensures all safety equipment is in place, and makes safety assessments. With the right cars at the back end of the train, we backed into the customer's unloading dock.
Yeah, looking good. 5 more, clear 7.
Roger, 5, clear 7, 2107. Two. That's why
And a 1.
That's why it's so long.
That's one. That'll work when you get it with the red zone. 1207.
2107 answer over.
Yeah, just take him up at that clearing point and knock him in the head.
Roger, clearance, knock him in the head.
Once the cars were disconnected and secured, we pulled right back out. Here's a look at the controls. There are levers and knobs for direction, speed, brakes, and more. You might think driving a train is simple. After all, there isn't even a steering wheel. But a little bit later in this video, and you will see there's lots more to it.
Here's the dynamic brake, which we don't use here. The sander.
Oh, wait,
Don't forget
actually,
the bell.
activated the
Get the
sander.
bell, the other bell's down there. Alright.
Does the bell and the horn mean different things?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're different things. The bell's a bell and the horn.
Okay, got it.
So, you sound the bell anytime you sound the horn, but you sound, or you sound, anytime you're coming to a crossing, you want the bell and the horn. If you're coming through a yard where there are people or anybody, working in the area, turn the bell on just to let them know you're coming and in the area.
Got questions about any of that down there?
Any questions?
Oh, did I have questions and things to talk about?
There's climb gradients. To help climb gradients and stuff. Oh, I think.
To help what?
I think you need like the sanders to like climb the gradients.
Climb gradients, he's
Yeah.
saying, if it goes
Yeah,
up.
gradients.
For more traction.
Hills,
Yep.
hills, yeah.
100%.
Yeah, but
You're
what,
right.
but what are these right here? Are they like the controls?
You can also use sand for help to stop, too.
Engine run?
So
You
you're
need that.
All these brakes.
capacity for sand here,
And
that
that's
just
the
dumps it
field
out on the
generator.
track.
What's that?
When that's down,
That sander, it's
it
Yep,
doesn't
there's
matter
a
what
hose
you do.
in front of
you
the
want
wheels. That'll actually
You
shoot
gotta
sand
fix
right
that up.
between the tracks and
then
the
you
wheels
have-
itself.
That generates all the electricity, or that puts all the electricity down to the right spots
So that's like
to make us move.
So that's like engine controls, except it's literally the engine, like right there, like the motor.
The locomotives may be the star, but without a good track, they couldn't do anything. So Farmrail runs a continuous track maintenance program to keep things running smooth and safe. So on our way back to headquarters, we visited with the crew that takes care of all that. This tamper machine can lift the track and uses computerized adjustments to shift it left or right or up and down to keep it straight.
That shows me the position where that rail was at as far as up and down. So the yellow line is my correction line, and that machine lines the track. You can make it straight, or you can put elevation in it. When it puts elevation in it, that means one rail is higher than the other, so the trains can go around a curve, and it helps them to glide around the curve.
It then tamps in ballast around the railroad tie to hold its position. These paddles go into the ballast and vibrate, packing it into place. The operator's seat has a large window, so he has a great view of what he's working on. The joystick and button controls are pretty sophisticated, with numerous functions and operating modes.
Clamps onto the track underneath the ball of the rail, and that's what'll pick it up once I set it on the ground. That's what moves that. This moves the machine forward and backward. And when I'm in tamping mode, I can tamp with this, or I can cancel.
But I recognize this safety feature right off the bat.
This machine goes behind the tamper machine to sweep any ballast off the tracks and neatly stack it in place. This crew has to coordinate their work with dispatch to make sure the line is clear for passing trains. Back at headquarters, we had a special treat. This mobile training center was here for the week, and we got to see how they use it to train and certify engineers. Trained engineers not only have to get certified, they also have to recertify on a regular basis. The simulators allow them to experience a wide range of situations and conditions in a realistic way without requiring main track time or resources. There are 2 simulator bays. The controls are real, the seats rumble, the air brakes hiss, and the track can even model the actual lines the engineers run on. The trainer even specifies how many cars and the load they are carrying. The training instructor can monitor the simulation runs from this workstation. The simulator software tracks any mistakes that the engineer makes. Things like breaking the speed limit or failure to use the horn when traveling over a crossing get deductions to their score. At the end of their run, the trainee gets a printed report with a score and a breakdown of his performance. Safety is the biggest performance factor, but this training also helps with fuel use and time efficiency. There is also a classroom section with multiple stations so that the instructor can cover topics for a whole group of engineers.
These are the gauges. See the engineer's releasing his engine brakes there? There's no forces, very little in the train right now.
Okay, so.
It's just kind of free rolling down the track.
Okay, so. You don't want that. You don't want that, right? Yeah.
Watch here in a second. See something happen. Okay, so see he's increased the throttle notch there, so he's getting amperage. See the force in the train? It's starting to pull those cars out. Pulling all the slack out until the whole train starts moving.
All right.
And this is from end to end. This is the front of the train. This is the back of the train. This is where all the forces are.
I see. So the actual speed right there, and
Well, this is the air brake, so this tells whether the brakes are applied on the train. The blue line are the brake cylinders on each car.
okay, so speed limit and actual speed. Let's. Sorry.
Well, you don't have that on this display.
Seeing this was very cool, but I know that you know what I was thinking. I wanted to try it.
Alex familiarized himself with the controls, and then the instructor set him up to haul 50 grain cars.
So the brakes. Okay, that's a horn. It looks way different. There's the bell. There's this. That's quite the same. It's the same, but not this, of course. This is not.
Here,
All right.
I'm gonna let you tell me what to do here, and see if you
All right, let's watch a
probably
violation.
already know what to do.
All right, let's watch a violations go.
Okay, couple things.
First of all,
Do you know where your what's that?
you turn it up,
Yep, you're right.
and also if I.
That's a pull-out. There you go.
And now I have to use the power throttle. Oh, wait, I gotta. Is this forward like this?
That's reverse. There you go. releasing your engine brake.
How do I do
Just press down a little bit and then bring it back towards me.
that? This,
Yep, there you go.
put it back?
Yep, nope, just leave it off. You want it to stay off now. Nope, put it, yep, leave it right there. Just leave it right there for the rest of the run. Now you're coming up to a crossing, so you gotta blow your whistle.
Alright, so.
Oh, we see our forces?
Holy.
This simulator tracks forces throughout the train, and if you pull on the cars too hard, it breaks and your run is over.
Thankfully, I got another crack at it.
Okay, there is gonna be a crossing. Pretty sure. So let's go
Yep, right around the curve. 2 longs, a short, and a long.
Two longs, a short, and a long.
Wait for the whistle board.
Already back.
Already by
Just hold on to that last
all the
one.
way through.
Good job.
The simulator did exactly what it was supposed to for Alex. It gave him the chance to mess up without putting anyone or anything in danger, and it gave him the chance to practice, improve, and get better.
You got a lot going on right now. You're gonna have a crossing. We're gonna have to apply some brakes. So let's go to number 4 throttle. And now we're gonna set some air. So let's do this. Pull this to that first click right there. Then we press down on that to keep our engine brakes from not setting. There's a whistle board. You just went by. Start whistling, ringing your bell.
I'm pretty sure that's more violation. What was that?
That was the switch. You just went over.
Actually, wait. There's gonna be a whole violation for this.
Good job. About 3/4 of a mile to our flag. Just keep your throttle right where it's at. Let's pull this over towards you just a little bit. Just pull it a little, right there. Nope, you're right. You never push it back until you're ready to release. You pull it towards you.
It also gave him an appreciation for the work that real train engineers do.
It was a lot of fun, but I learned a lot too.
From there, we took a walk over to the maintenance shop. You need a special space to work on these big locomotives. This is where they do everything, from routine maintenance to repairs to major overhauls. All of their locomotives are diesel powered, but the diesel engine doesn't power the wheels directly. The diesel motor turns a main generator which produces electricity, and that electricity is delivered to electric motors that actually move the locomotive. Wonder what it looks like inside the engine?
Let me show you.
The guys who work in the shop have a wide range of skills: mechanical, electrical, hydraulic, pneumatic, and controls, just to name a few. This locomotive needed to be moved out of the wash bay, so they let Alex help drive it out.
Then you gotta flip on that generator field switch, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this controls your brakes. This is what you stop. You hear that air flowing? That air's gonna make you stop. When it's this way, you can stop. When it's released, you go, okay? So, we're gonna go forward. Brandon and I are standing here. We ain't gonna let you.
Hang on. So what are the steps you have to do to make before you move? What do you have to do? Generator field in,
Generator filter, yeah.
reverser forward.
Yeah.
Before we roll, what are we supposed to do? We'll get deducted.
This, right?
We gotta sound the bell, right? Before we move, we gotta sound the bell.
Pull it out.
Pull it up.
Oh, I see.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay, now just go one notch. Then you wanna give that horn a blow. Now release your brake.
Brakes off.
Nope, just bring it back. You don't have to bell. There you go. Keep your hand right here.
It was only for a few feet on the yard, and he had two highly experienced people watching over him very closely. But it still counts.
I can say I drove a real locomotive.
There you go. You just move.
Okay.
You just move forward.
I've loved trains for as long as I can remember.
After our Farmrail tour, Alex better understands how railroads serve others through safe and efficient transportation and the career opportunities that go along with that.
Thanks, Farmrail.
You are awesome, and we greatly appreciate the time and lessons you shared with us. See you on our next adventure.